award-winning Tennessee Wildcast is on the air with the latest on hunting, fishing, boating, wildlife watching, and all things outdoors. Make welcome your host, drummer and outdoor expert novice, Jason Harmon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Tennessee Wildcast. We're glad you're tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We got a great show lined up for you today. Barry is helping me co-host. You've seen him in studio here lately. He's helping me out today. Thanks for being here, Barry.
Thank you.
I'm excited about today. We're going to be talking about THLETE Camo. It's a local company here in Middle Tennessee, and I'm excited to dive in and learn about this pattern and the technology behind it. But before we do that, I just wanted to touch on a radio station. Barry's going to help kick that off today.
Yeah, that's right. We got 23 radio stations that partner with us, and today we're highlighting WBMC out of McMinnville. They run Wildcast on Sundays at 12:30 to 1 p.m., and you can go to their website at 960wbmc.com. And of course, you can go to our website, THLETE.org, and click on the tab for Stay Connected and check out Wildcast.
Yeah, Wildcast is right there. When you get to that page, you've got the video there. You've got links to some of the podcasting platforms that we host on. I mean, it's just on just about every podcasting app out there.
And that's all about staying connected, you know?
Yeah, stay connected.
If there's news with the agency, we're probably going to be talking about it. And if there's news about the outdoors, we've got that too. So keep in touch with us.
There you go. There you go. Barry, what's happening in March? Bassmasters?
Bassmaster Classic. We're going to be up there the 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, working, just meeting and greeting people, talking about the Classic and helping out with that event. So it's a big deal, you know. I mean, you got some of the best bass fishermen in the country going to be there. So if you get a chance, come out and see it. Come see us and have a good time.
You're going to have a booth. Going to have a trailer there, maybe some archery.
We're going to be partnering with a couple of different agencies and have a booth up there talking about the Bill Dance Trail.
Yeah, Signature Lakes.
Yeah, and so it'll be a nice time.
So come see us that weekend of March 24th. In Knoxville, Tennessee.
And that's my birthday, so, you know.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday. Early.
But anyway, yeah, that's kind of kicking off our fishing season. I know some people have been out fishing already, but it's a great time of year to be out on the water. Always be safe, wear a life jacket. Water's still going to be good and cold for us, but the fish, it's prime time. So get out there and wet a line, catch some fish, and enjoy, the warmer weather. So.
I would say some of the products we're going to talk about today would be great for fishing too. I mean, people who like to wade fish, it keep you kind of camoed, keep you blending in.
Yeah.
I've always said don't wear a bright orange shirt or bright yellow when you're wading.
If you're ever wading, and this was one thing I was told when I was catching smallmouth. They're like, you're not fishing, you're hunting. So you gotta blend in.
There you go.
So the guy I learned a lot of stuff from wore camo when he was fishing for smallmouth and wading. So there's something to that, but. I mean, we're rolling into turkey season. I mean, we're 2 weeks away, 2.5 weeks away.
While we're on it, turkey season, September 24th. That's fall.
What?
Never mind. Jump it down. Wrong block.
Hold on.
Spring turkey, young sportsman hunt, April 8th and the 9th.
Yep.
And then the shotgun archery season is April 15th through May 28th. 1 bearded turkey per day, not to exceed 2 per season, and only 1 can be a Jake.
That's right.
If you go to our website, TNWildlife.org, you'll see some of the graphics that are in the guide about how you can identify the difference between a Jake and a Tom.
And there's a lot of people just getting into it, and that's handy information. If you are just getting into it and you may need some assistance, look for somebody that's already out there, been turkey hunting. Turkey hunters are notorious for wanting to take somebody and call a bird in, and so just talk to them. Somebody will be like, "Yeah, I'll take you." And so that is probably one of the. Actually, that's how I got into it. Somebody said, "You tried turkey hunting?" I said, "Yeah, I didn't do any good." And he's like, "I'll take you." Killed my first bird with somebody, and I didn't know anything about turkey hunting. So find somebody that enjoys it. They'll enjoy taking you as much as they enjoy hunting themselves. So and those of us that really do enjoy getting out there, we get a kick out of seeing somebody learn it,
Seeing somebody else do it,
yeah. So
Awesome.
I look forward to turkey season every year just because of that. It's a more social hunt, and
You can't beat it. Like turkey hunting, it's like the most active. It's so much fun. Like it beats the deer stand sitting in cold and just waiting. Turkey hunting, it's warmer, it's nicer. You're running around, you're calling, you're talking to birds and getting them close. Like the energy gets high quickly.
and you can talk to each other. You're like, you're strategizing while you're out there. What should we do?
It's exciting.
It's fun. And so if you haven't turkey hunted and you've thought about wanting to go, this is a great time of year to start making some plans. And of course, our season's 2 weeks later this year, and that's part of the commission's decision to try and help our turkey population, and we hope that's going to work. And we'll be looking at that, and of course, the green up around here really doesn't happen until about mid-April. So it's probably going to help a lot of people as far as cover. Of course, today we're talking about camo.
Yeah,
and,
good transition, Barry.
Excellent transition.
Camouflage is, for me, when I'm in the woods and it's completely wide open, camouflage is crucial. As it starts greening up, it's still going to be one of those things that's going to help you get away with, a
little bit of movement.
Sometimes we're not perfect, when that bird's coming in. So let's talk about you and what you got going on here with this camo company.
This company, we launched this in 2019. It was started in Minnesota, and we relocated down to Tennessee when COVID hit. And it's just been a party house, man. We've had so much fun doing this. We designed the camo. Our philosophy is very much a breakup camo, and so it's contrasting colors because in our eyes, a turkey or a deer are not going to notice the micro details of that twig at 30 yards. We wouldn't be able to see it.
Definitely, yeah.
So the goal is really to try to get the colors to contrast and to break up your silhouette in the woods. With turkeys, it's a little bit different because their vision's way much better. And so we're working on some turkey patterns to really hone in so you can do your own style. You can do a breakup pattern for turkey with our early harvest pattern, and then we're coming out with a timber pattern that is more of a darker pattern to fit into that.
I jumped ahead. I didn't even introduce.
I'm William.
No, I think that's great. So we're talking with William Spalding and Gabriel Stoll. They're with THLETE Camo. So you kind of touched on it just a little bit, but how did you get into this business? You weren't originally a camo guy.
No, I was in the healthcare world, ran cancer centers, worked at LifePoint, and just was knee deep in healthcare, and I got tired of it. Didn't have to be there, and found this company and acquired it and worked with the founder. And when COVID hit, everything went up in the air. Like it was just a total mess for us. And so we were able to get everything streamlined. And at that point, it was like everything was here. So we relocated everything down to Franklin. We're down on Seaboard Lane. Have 15,000 square feet there, just having a party. And we really got knee deep into camo. And so like where I find our niche is really, we develop our own fabrics. So like we're not taking cookie cutter fabrics and printing them. Like we are custom developing the fabrics. So like the vest I'm wearing right now is developed by Primaloft. We worked with them to fine tune it. We're fine tuning. We came out with the first alpaca base layer that's in the hunting industry.
Wow.
We're coming out with a yak's wool blend base layer. We develop pretty much every fabric is custom developed. And so we're looking at our specs. So we want durability, we want abrasion resistance, we want waterproofing, we want breathability stats. We really go down the wormhole on the tech of the fabrics. Because at the end of the day, like, it's got to be cool, it's got to function, but it's also got to last you. Yeah. Nothing's worse than having, spend $200 on a jacket and it lasts you a season or two. Our gear, you got to have it 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah. I think it's amazing the technology behind the clothing these days. Growing up hunting, you went to Walmart or something.
They didn't have my generation. Yeah. Like when I was like, I had to like wear adult clothes when I was like 6 years old, and rolling up the sleeves, and I didn't even have wool socks that fit me. Like,
yeah, but there's just so many new companies and new technology out there that people are thinking about how to stay cool or stay warmer or not sweat so much or whatever it may be. It's just amazing. the work that goes into it.
I just think of it like when you're walking out in God's country and the weather's just spitting at you, and if you have the right gear, like it just brings the energy. Like you just get so excited, like I got this, and you can take people out there. It's freezing, it's hot, and whatever condition. When you have the right gear and you just have fun, you're always going to go back. It's when you don't have the good situation, you don't have fun. That's when people are like, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I tell people all the time. They're like, I don't want to go out there. It's so cold. And I'm like, it's not cold. And they're like, it's freezing. I'm like, yeah, but if you're dressed right, I mean, you're in good shape.
Yep.
I mean, if you're dressed for the weather, you're ahead of the game. But the camo, I look at it, and to me, you what you're talking about contrast, I see maybe influences from different camos from my past. You know, like ASAT, I see that. I see some Predator. I mean, it's really got, I mean, I guess you're going for that distance.
So at 30 yards, it totally breaks up. At 30 yards, you're not going to see all the contrasting colors.
I could barely see you coming in the door.
But people forget, like, the biggest source out there is light from the sun and all the reflections you get. And so when you're walking through the woods, like, you think, I need to look like that tree. Well, no, there's leaves everywhere. There's light refraction everywhere. It's much more of a high contrasting environment than you realize. And so, like, at 50 yards in some camo, you're just a solid object.
Right.
And that works for some people, but for us, and what our philosophy is, that, like, everything we're shooting at is minimum 30 yards out to max 200, but 300, 400 yards. But, like, at that distance, you're not going to notice unless you have the high contrasting colors. That's super important. And so that you break up with all the lights, all the different colors out there, you want to blend at that distance.
Right. Yeah. Well, now I will say this. I've often told people, the best camo in the world is Carhartt overalls, because a deer disappears every time he stands still. But with us, I mean, we're trying to move in the woods, and we need to be able to move. And that contrast, that is a benefit.
Yeah.
It happen, yeah.
It can give you that extra, as I said, it's just an edge. Like, camo's not the solution to everything. It just gives you that extra edge. It may give you an extra 5 seconds when that deer's at 10 yards, that bird's at 20 yards, and gives you that little advantage to get that shot off.
And I think what I heard you say is, we're not just camo. This is more of a camo system. I mean,
There's so many layers.
Yeah. So we have a full complete system. So yeah, we run waterproofing, we run base layers, mid layers, vests, insulation. We pretty much stick to, a lot of our base layers are now straight out of Polartec, made in Tennessee. And then a lot of our waterproofing is made out of Japan with Toray, which is some really fancy fabric that has incredible breathability statistics on it. And then we try to just keep it all in our deadfall and early harvest 2 patterns right now.
Okay. And so you've mentioned turkey hunting. Is that the early harvest? That's
what we're hunting in right now. But so this past year, when turkey season opened April 1, it was not greened up. We were hunting in deadfall because it was straight up fall still.
Right.
But now that it's 2 weeks later, I think there's going to be green up, and we're going to be in the early harvest camo.
Okay.
Well, I can see how this pattern here is great for the deer hunter in the tree stand, because once you get up there in the fall, there's no leaves.
No leaves.
So this is what you look like.
It's exactly what you look like. If you don't even see anyone, I can show you pictures at 30 yards, 40 yards. When you're 20 feet up in a tree, you just disappear.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Well, let's dive into the layers a little bit more, because I'm new to layering up for the outdoors. I mean, I'm used to put on thermal underwear and then put on a couple of layers, whatever it may be, sweatpants or whatever, and then the camo on top of that. But you guys have the technology. Like, I think this looks like a base layer to me. Am I wrong?
That's wrong.
Gabe's wearing, okay.
Well, that's like a early season outerwear type thing.
Okay.
So, like, what I recommend all the time, every time, Polartec makes a Silkweed base layers that we're running that's power dry, and it instantly wicks everything off your skin. So if you want to stay warm, regardless when it's hot out, cold out, wearing a base layer, it gets that sweat off your skin, is so crucial. But you always hear the guys that layer up, we're all this clothes, and then they walked in and they froze out. They sweated it out. And that's just an instant game stop right there. And so, like, you want to stay dry. Keep all that sweat off your skin. And so silk weight base layers, that's what the military uses, that's what the Marines use, like that's the way to roll. And so we run a silk weight base layer, and then when it's really cold, the ultimate solution is we run then a Polar Tech heavy base layer over that. I swear that the combination of those two fabrics, it stretches like you've never seen before. Like it just moves like I could go run a mile in this thing and be good to go. I don't know if anyone would want to see me running a mile in base layers.
Me either.
But it is unbelievable. And then we work with Primaloft for a lot of our insulation.
Okay.
And we are running the top grade insulation right now. So Primaloft makes a lot of the insulation for the military. And the Primaloft Gold, they combine that with aerogel. And so aerogel is insulation that's used in low gravity, outer space, so space stations, high altitude flights. It's just a gel. And so, but what that does in zero pressure, it maintains loft. Loft is warmth. So like when you see puffy jackets, you got to have the loft. You got to have that puffiness because that's where all the warmth is stored. And so the aerogel gives it that extra loft even under compression and allows more warmth to be stored into it. And so they took the warmest synthetic insulation on the market, combined it with the aerogel, and just ramped the stats through the roof.
Wow.
And so it's it's like the highest warmth to weight ratio you can get in insulation now.
And probably not that thick.
No, it's not. It's like the way synthetic insulation is made is it's straight up one sheet of fabric, and then they're building the piles off of that. So think of like a spider web that's sticking from a sheet, and so it stays in place. So like the downside with goose down is the insulation can move around. When you pack it up a lot, you're breaking the insulation down. The synthetic lasts much longer. It's much more durable, and especially more important, like if you get wet, the synthetic is always going to retain the higher warmth to weight ratio than goose down. Once goose down gets wet, you're pretty much done at that point. It's not going to maintain any loft. But so we looked at goose down. It's still warm. I would say that's the warmest out there, but there are some downsides. When it gets wet, it's not good. Doesn't function as desirable. And then it's also tough to like maintaining it. It's not as durable as synthetic. And then it just can be challenging when you start looking at how the stats work. So like making sure you have 6 ounces of every panel to maintain the exact warmth. It's just harder because you're literally taking feathers and stuffing them into a jacket.
Right.
And so you may not get consistent warmth across the entire body. And so synthetic just is more
reliable, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. So then you got your outer layer that goes on top of the insulation. That's kind of, you say insulation, I think that's the base layer, but that's not the base layer. That's the mid layer.
That's a mid layer.
Yeah.
And so like you want to, when you're walking in, like you build up warmth. And so like you build up tons of warmth. And so like we look at it, I don't know if you guys ever heard of CLO values, but like an R value on an insulation in a house. That's what we look at, those numbers.
Okay.
And so like when you're walking, you're building up energy, but you're also combating the weather. And so like this works back into an equation called a CLO value that's built for clothing and tells you the insulation value that you're going to have. But if you build up too many clothes while walking, your energy output, you're going to get smoked. And so you want to maintain the right CLO values when you're wearing jackets and everything. So when you're walking in, you don't need to wear all that stuff. And so we tell people all our insulation packs up into a little pouch and whatnot. And so you carry that in. And then once you get stagnant, if your deer season, it's cold, like you want to wait till you get completely dry and get a little cold. I always tell people, get a little cold, that's better. Then put on all that insulation.
Yeah.
And you build up that warmth again, you're good to go.
I've always said, when you're driving to your spot, don't turn the heat on.
No. Roll that window down.
Stay cold. Stay cold. I swear, with this technology and then the tethered saddle, I mean, I think that's a lethal combination.
I know. It is deadly. That's pretty much, we started saddle hunting about 3 years ago. And like, at first, like we had no idea what we were doing. Like we were building up so much heat, sweating up. I'm cursing with aiders, going up in the dark, making noise.
Yeah.
And now like our system's totally changed. Like over 3 years, like you just tinker with it. Like clothing, it's all a tinker, and you just work and get your system dialed. But once it's rocking and rolling, like, oh my God, it's so much fun. You can cruise up a tree in 5 seconds and sit there all day. Doesn't matter what Mother Nature's throwing at you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Gabriel, let's jump over to you, buddy. you're in the media side of things for the company. So tell us what you do and kind of a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I grew up hunting and was always filming my hunts. Something I was always passionate about. And I've loved hunting and all that. And I moved down. I grew up in Pennsylvania. Moved down here and got connected with THLETE Outdoors. Was that almost 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, and been like taking pictures, filming for them ever since. And it's been really fun. I've learned a lot about fabrics. I never thought I would, but I've really, like, every time I go into the store now, like, I'm almost touching the clothing. Oh, what's this fabric? Like, that's similar to that one.
You better not be buying that stuff in that stuff.
It's gotta be this. But it's but I've really, like, with hunting and all that, I've worn a lot of different clothing, and just like not too many years I've hunted, but I really got to experience the warmth and durability and like the flexibility of wearing like this kind of hunting clothing, and it's very unique. It's different than everything I've worn, and on these cold days, especially in Canada, we're in Canada. That was the biggest test. We're hunting negatives up there.
Wow. Negative 40 degrees.
Negative 40, and like I just had.
That was Celsius. Negative 40 Celsius, but still 30-mile-per-hour winds, hilltop, 6,000 feet, 7,000 feet. It was brutal.
Very cold. But I found that's wearing like. I thought I was gonna be wearing like insane amount of layers, and it's like only 3 layers: base layer, mid layer, and then like I had the puffy jacket on top of that, and like it was totally fine.
Yeah. I feel like it makes you more mobile too, though, right? Absolutely. I mean, it makes it easier for the hunter,
especially if you're archery, and if you're drawing a bow and moving around and constant, like that stuff. You get constrictions, you get anxious. Like if I can't move, how I get really grumpy, and like I start yelling at myself, like, why can't I do this? I'm like getting an old man.
Old man. Hey, I will tell you this: if I'm wearing camo, I don't care what it is. If I'm in the woods and I can't move, if I can't climb, it drives me nuts, and I will not wear that camo again, just because of that. If I can't. I can't move anyways, but if I can't move and stretch as far as I normally would when I'm climbing, it frustrates me. So, talking about that mobility that this camo, your cuts, I guess, or the stretch. What is it?
So it's all about getting the stretch aligned. So like. I'm gonna go back to fabric, but like it's all so like two-way stretch and getting the weft and how the stretch works built in correctly. And so like you don't want to have a panel that's going the opposite direction. You want it to move with you, stretch with you. And so like 4-way stretch is awesome, but sometimes 4-way stretch does not get as much. So like it's sometimes better to have a 2-way stretch that stretches more than having 4-way stretch. And so like you can work the stretch panels in just right and getting the designs with the gussets and all the zipper alignments and getting everything tailored to the body, to get the knee articulation built in. All those elements drive towards a simple pant. But that simple pant, like once you wear it, like this is awesome. But like you would never tell someone like, oh, this is this is what we did this pant. Like you can't understand it until you wear it, and then once you wear it, you're like, this is awesome.
Oh yeah, I always tell my wife, I'm like, spend the money on dress clothes because it's better.
Yeah,
you enjoy your clothes. But same thing with camo. If you got gear that number one keeps you warm, keeps you dry, but is wearable. And what I'm hearing from this is you've put work into making a system where your mobility is not going to be regulated.
Nope.
And you're talking about keeping warm with not a lot of bulk.
Yep.
And that's important to me because I do hunt out of a saddle, and I don't want to carry a giant wad of warm clothes up the tree.
We're standing on like a 16-inch platform in a tree, and like
exactly.
You got ropes and everything, and the last thing you want to do is like put on this giant parka from World War II,
or have to wait until you cool down. Where are you going to put that?
Yep.
And so I hear what you're saying, and I'm liking it.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself going from here?
So we are going into turkey with a turkey pattern, dark timber, and then we are also looking to stand up fishing.
I told you there was some signs.
Wow.
And so that is the direction we're heading. As we continue to grow, we need to be targeting our customers through the whole spectrum of the year.
Yeah.
Because on every guy that buys our clothes buys more clothes. And so like they want more, and I'm not able to scratch that itch as much. And so like I want year round, when they're going fishing, this is what they want to wear, because everyone loves the fabric we're putting out, the designs we're putting out. I just need to have it on the shelves for them. And so to get them out fishing, out turkey hunting, all that year round, live the dream, man. Like, yeah,
that's awesome.
And like you said, I mean, being able, you're working in it now, and you get to do more of it. But when we want to go, we got to have the stuff, you know. And if we've got better quality gear, it makes it more of a
it's more fun,
positive experience.
Yeah, it's more fun.
Yeah.
If you have fun, you're just going to do it again. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. And I tell, like, we make hunting clothes, but at the end of the day, our mission is comfort above all else. It has to be comfortable, because that means you're going to have fun. If you have fun, you're going to continue to go out. You're going to continue to enjoy the outdoors. You're going to continue to buy hunting license. You're going to do all that. It all stops when you don't have fun.
Yeah.
It ends there.
I don't know why people go to golf. I don't know.
Golf is fun. I enjoy golf.
That's a serious
I'll wear
debate.
camo. Well, I want to make sure I mention this. Made in Tennessee, which I think is awesome. We've had a lot of Tennessee companies on the show here lately with Tethered and Troy and you guys. It's just amazing to see all the manufacturers and companies that are coming to Tennessee. Made in America, made in Tennessee is awesome. I think that's cool to touch on. And we haven't touched on the affordability. You know, looking at your site, you're right there in that range. It's affordable.
It has to be. But the one thing that gives us an edge, we are direct to consumer. So we're not in retail stores. We don't do the wholesale side of the equation. And so we're able to deliver a higher quality product at a more affordable price.
Wow.
Than if you're going through retail in that aspect. We can deliver a much higher quality product.
Yeah, I think that's cool. We're going to have to get down there and check out
We got an awesome room.
office.
It's pretty sick.
And that's right there in Franklin? Or?
It's right there in Franklin. So if you guys off of Seaboard Lane, you know where Costco is in Franklin, like we're like 200 yards away.
Awesome. I'll stop by Costco and then stop by the office. Well, real quick, how'd the name come about?
We started us off a high performance, and we thought of athletes, and we're constantly moving, constantly adapting. We need high performance, and so we didn't want to be an athlete, but THLETE is just a very recognizable. And once you hear it, you never forget it. It
THLETE.
sticks with you.
Yeah.
Just take away the A. It's pretty easy.
Don't forget it. THLETE.com, THLETE.com, and THLETE Outdoors on social media, right?
Yeah. And if you just type in THLETE, you'll find us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can see Gabriel's awesome work on YouTube and Instagram. Like, we're growing like crazy. And so, follow us, man. It helps us.
Yeah, follow them, follow us. I appreciate y'all being here today. This is very cool. Adrian, thank you for matching this up. I know he's in the background there. Thanks for bringing these guys in, and very cool technology. I'm going to go check it out, maybe get me a few layers.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to everything you're going to start doing, and the fishing stuff. I'm ready for that too. Cause,
we'll have to go fishing.
Yeah, I know some places. So
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll
We got
go.
plenty of guys in here who can shoot video, so we'll just have to set up a whole video shoot. All right, guys. Thank you, William. Thank you, Gabriel. I appreciate it. We'll have you back sometime.
Sounds like a plan.
Thanks,
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
This is Tennessee Wildcast. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay connected with TWRA by visiting our website at tnwildlife.org and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hey, it's all about Tennessee wildlife. It's what we do. Tennessee Wildcast will be on the air again next week. We'll see you then.